You're listening to Fatherhood Fraternity Podcast. I'm Ted Williams, the man with a golden voice.
We're live with Ted Williams at the barbershop.
Yo, we back. Fatherhood Fraternity Podcast. DJ Duro.
Norm Chick in the building.
Yeah. And Jeremiah Williams on the microphone.
Yo,
pleasure.
As you can probably see on the title, we had our man Ted Williams drop by in the barbershop.
Norm just took Ted Williams to rally real quick.
Yo, how's the ride?
The ride was crazy.
Pause.
Ted, pause. So, Ted is definitely a animated personality,
yes.
man. He didn't stop moving and stop talking, man. Like, he kept going. Hey, have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna look it up for you real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, hold on, I'm on my way there.
He's the best, man.
Hey, he was going. He wasn't stopping. He did a little bit for Braxton. Hey, Braxton, this is Ted Williams coming to you live. I got it recording everything.
That's
man.
crazy.
Hey, he is really like an animated person.
I can't wait till y'all hear the interview. We're going to make sure we put that on this episode. Stay tuned for that. But today we're going to talk about being the head of the household.
Yeah.
What we feel our wives should do. What we feel the roles our kids should have, and what roles we should have. Now we have our question of the day. We're going to kick over to that right now, and then we'll get back into our topic. Yo, so we got to make sure we keep the segments coming. Yeah. So this time we got the question of the day. We in the barbershop. I'm going to let y'all set this up so we can ask this question for the people.
Question of the day. What is it, Rob?
Set the scene, Rob.
All right, so I'm sure everybody's familiar with the movie Crash. In the movie Crash, there's a scene where there's a wife, there's a husband, they're traveling to, I don't know, some event, dinner, whatever the case may be. Picture yourself and your spouse, particularly my black men.
You good. Yeah.
Particularly my black men driving, you got your black wife in the vehicle with you, a white cop pulls you over.
That makes a difference, too.
That makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And that is one of the most scariest situations to any black man that I know. Different subject. So, the cop in this scene gets a little frisky with the wife once he pulls her out.
So he touches her inappropriately.
Yes, exactly.
Very inappropriate.
Very inappropriate. He would have caught a gross sexual imposition charge.
I said rape.
Basically.
You know what I mean? Like, seriously, DJ Duro, because I want this fact to be like, this is a point.
Right.
Is that not only did he grope the man's wife, but in my opinion, he raped her.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying? He took advantage of her in places that you do not let any man touch your wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And she basically had to endure that while looking at her husband while he sat back and did nothing.
For fear that the police officer would leave him shot there to die on the side of the road.
And that's a good question, because you have to think deep. Because do you stand up and be a man and punch him and die? Or do you live to have to deal with it another day and then look like a weaker person in front of your wife, and anything that comes up, like that's it.
You haven't done your job.
I think what the thing is that at that moment, you may have to really remember the details, remember your anger. Don't act on it at the moment, because he's a cop then, but you're going to have to figure out who he is and figure out who his people are, and then maybe after, then do something.
That's what Marlon said.
Okay, so
Marlon said he's coming back. He's coming back for revenge.
I
told him that was wrong.
Question of the day. You're saying your answer is you're going to go law-abiding citizen on the situation, sit back, plot it out, and you're going to get your revenge at a later date.
I'm going to cuss him. I'm going to cuss him out. I'm going to, make a scene. I can't physically harm him.
Why not?
At that moment, because
he's physically harming your wife.
But that doesn't mean that's like a two wrong makes a right thing. Not saying that I'm saying he's okay, but I know that in the end, he's a white man. I'm trying to save my black wife, and I'm going to, 1, get killed, 2, go to jail, or 3, be framed.
Wow.
And I can't do none of that to save my family. So if I do intend to do something, it can't be right there with the badge on, with the camera rolling. I can't do it right then. And she's going to have to understand that too, because I have to make it home every night.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation is, I got to make it home for me and my daughter and my wife.
I fully understand your answer, DJ Duro, but I would do the opposite. That would be the day that I fought to my death.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong for that.
For my wife's honor. I would die for my own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so in that moment, he would not have even made it that far, because I would have intervened. Yeah. I would have stood in front of her.
I would have been quiet. Was he quiet on the whole scene?
I have to see the movie because I don't remember the details.
Did he even do anything to let him know that, yo, I see what you're doing, bro?
I do want to say he said something and might have even and dude basically turned around like, nope.
Put his hand on his gun.
Because
you're not gonna do that.
I would have agitated the situation to stop it. I wouldn't have just been like, damn, you just gonna touch her? Like, I wouldn't just been like, off to the side on some, I'm crying. I would have agitated enough to not get shot. I can get tased, but I'm gonna see you.
This is before any of that happened. Me and my wife just would have been on the run from the police. We ran and jumped in the car, and they chased us down the street.
Yeah.
Then they took us to jail.
I feel you.
But you're not just sitting there and getting molested by no police officer because he has the authority, the badge, and the gun, and I have nothing. Please, I would have the strength of God to mangle that dude. That would be the day. I would either kill that officer or I would die there.
And that's a crazy decision that we have to make as black men, where it's not equal. Like, we know it's not equal.
We talked about that all day.
A white policeman?
How ridiculous is our position to where we even have, that's normal conversation for us. Are you gonna fight the police and die, or you gonna have your wife out? That's how we talk for real.
Right.
And everybody had a different answer. Some dudes was like, man, my wife, she get on my damn nerves. I wish we could interview the people and ask them all that question.
Right.
It's OGs, come in, young blood, man, you only live once. Then there's other people that's like, no, ain't no man even looking at my wife.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? She's staying in the car. I'm gonna go out and talk to the police, and everybody has their own how they would handle themselves.
Right.
So nobody was right or wrong. That's kind of the point. The question of the day.
I love the question of the day.
And it lasted all day.
Yeah.
It's all about seeing different aspects, different points of views, how other people think about this same situation that I'm going to react this way in.
Word.
I can talk to 10 people and see 10 different ways of how to react to this same situation.
So, Rob, what was your reaction?
Oh, I'm not going. That'll be the day that, I just had to die on that sidewalk.
Yeah.
Right there.
And that's why I get down with Rob.
I'm not allowing no man
to
put his hands on my wife, like, especially I'm right there. Like, I understand what you're saying if you wasn't there. If I wasn't there and she came back to me like, hey,
we gotta take
listen
one.
to what the hell happened to me today.
Right.
Okay, then I'm gonna do the law-abiding citizen.
Right.
We gonna find you. You know what I mean? I got you.
Right.
But if I'm right there at the time, I gotta go down for my wife.
Your job as a husband is to protect and provide and to guide and lead and all of those type of things for your wife. So how do you go home and have dinner that night after your wife has just been raped by another man and you was helplessly watching?
No, how do you have that car ride?
How do you
home?
How you
after that happens?
It's gonna be like the wood, like sit in the back.
Yeah,
sit your ass in the back.
You get the door for it, baby. I got you. You had a hard night.
Yeah.
No, you have. That's your job as a husband, is to protect. That's the point.
And I really see it, and that's where it would make me think differently. Like, now that you all are saying it this way, you're gonna have to die. That's gonna have to be your legacy.
Man,
he died trying to save his wife.
And then to take it a step further,
you're right.
Reese added in and was like, "What if your children was in the car? What if it's the old Sharp added in? What if it's the other way around? What if they touch your child? Are you gonna stand there and helplessly watch?
No.
Absolutely not. You would die for your children.
It should be the same.
Why would you not die for your wife?
It's the exact same thing.
And so everybody had their own. It's almost like you put your family in order,
right?
And you was like, man, I die for. Well, would you die for yourself? What if they touch you? Shit, I got touched then.
But why do we even have to think like that? Like, why is it that this is like for real though?
That's really what we go through.
Yeah.
Shout out to the questions of the day.
Yo, if you got a question of the day, make sure you send it to us, fatherhoodfraternity@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Find us on all social media. Rob, where can they find you for more questions? On Facebook.
Facebook, I'm at Rob Phillips. I don't even remember my Instagram.
That's cool. They're gonna find you on Facebook and look for them questions. Yo, we need to hear your answers. You guys, I appreciate y'all giving me that in-depth point of view, because I just looked at it just from a surface, like, yo, I don't want to get killed, but yo, you got to at some point.
It's when do you, and Sharp, man, I wish he was here. Like, when do you, what decides?
Yep.
And this is
When
what
do
it
you
comes
lay
down
your
to.
life down? When is enough enough?
What's important enough for you to get to that level? 'Cause
Yep.
we all know that it's levels to it. You know what I mean? There's a level to where I'm going to get into an argument over this. I'm going to get into a physical altercation over this. And then I'm willing to die over this.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's different levels to it. And to me, family, like the majority of my family, I'm going to lay it down
Yep.
for. Wife, that's going to be number one here real shortly. You know what I mean? Like,
Perfect.
Royal Family,
yeah,
LLC.
something like that. Royal Family, INC, LLC.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Something
Underscore,
like that.
underscore.
Underscores up under there.
Shout out to
Appreciate
Rob.
y'all giving us the question of the day. Chime in, let us know, and we're gonna go back to the show. So that was our question of the day. We are back. We're going to talk about this good topic. We hope that y'all have enjoyed the last couple episodes. We're just getting started. We're trying to get the hang of how the flow of the whole show. We appreciate the feedback that you all are giving us.
Yeah.
Please make sure that you follow us, subscribe, comment, like, share,
Love.
everywhere. Love. Pass it around to your friends. We need to make sure that not only our voices and our stories are being heard, that you all feel empowered by hearing other people talk about the stuff that you all go through as men, fathers, parents, whatever.
Special guest coming soon.
Yeah,
Special guest
yes,
coming
a
soon.
lot more.
Yeah.
Fella, what y'all been up to before we get into this topic? Life? How's life treating y'all?
Life is good right now, man. Starting a new job next week. Chase Bank, coming in new. Situation happened in the past, but very, very fortunate to bounce back and get with a new company, new job, more money. So can't complain about that.
Perfect. Jay, how's the shop been? How's the
Man,
family?
I really got something to say. So, a couple days ago, the director from Inside the Riot, which is a play that I was in June, the director emails me and tells me he has a role for me that would be perfect. He think I would be perfect for it. And so I check it out. And it's really a 4-page monologue, a very lengthy monologue about this brother whom he grew up like with a raw life, like real raw life. He was in the streets at an early age. But the thing is that he was a gay man. You know what I'm saying? And so the whole monologue is basically his life story. And he's telling about when he was out in the street wilding, he was a prostitute. Going either way, it was crazy like that. And he tells a story, and it was very, very moving. It was very, very powerful. I want to emphasize like how powerful it is to say. And it made me, like, as an actor, I'm reading it and I'm like, this is so good and so rich with action. It's just a one-piece monologue. It's just me on stage. But some of the things that he says in there are really disturbing. Like, he's really putting it out there. Like, I was out in the streets doing what I had to do to get it, and I don't feel comfortable, right? So what I'm going through and what's going on in my mind right now, girl, is that I'm thinking about taking this role as a real live, for real actor, not no play hobby type thing. How serious do I want to be with my dream? You know what I mean? How serious do I want to be with myself? Do I just want to act and dabble, or do I really want to push myself and use my gifts and talents? And so I'm talking to my wife, I talk to my father. My father gives me the best advice, man. He's like, Morpheus. My father tells me that the only reason why I wouldn't do it would be for selfish reason. Because I don't want people to think I'm gay or something like that.
Even though you acting.
Even though I'm acting. Anybody that knows me knows I'm straight. But it would be selfish to not take the role. He said, use your gifts. You may touch somebody. Pause, right?
Sad we gotta go there.
You may touch somebody.
Yeah, pause.
You may really affect somebody's life.
No offense to anybody.
Yeah, because they would see that, okay, this isn't who he is, but that action is so powerful. And I feel like I can bring something to that. Jamal was right. He said that I was perfect for the role. And as I'm reading it, I seen it. I seen the person's story. I seen myself acting the story out. And so it was crazy like that, man. It was ridiculous. So that's what I'm going through, man. I'm really going through changes. As growing up as a black man, homosexuality is real, like, whoa, kind of taboo.
Right. That's why we're still saying pause.
But it's a thing. It's really going on.
Right.
And so I have to not be naive and act like it ain't there, and be foolish and act like, nah, it's something to be understood.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's a real thing to think about because, like, on one hand, you're like, yeah, I don't really want that view of myself because what if that's the last thing people see or first thing people see? And
what if they think I'm
right? They see me out, blah blah blah. But also, you don't want to have borders or barriers or walls that you're not allowing yourself to get over. You never know what's on the other side of. When I always have this analogy, you are on one piece of land. Fear is a rushing river.
Wow.
You don't know what is on the other side of that river. Once you get past that fear, you got to build a bridge and get over that instead of trying to walk through the fear and get whooshed away.
Right. Yeah.
On any situation,
Yeah.
You got to get over that because fear will be scary. A river that you got to walk through is scary, but if you walk over a bridge,
Right.
it's a lot more easier. You got to figure out what that bridge is to get to that next level.
I mean, even think about the greatest that I can think of. One of the greatest actors, Will Smith.
Yep,
His first role,
he was a gay man.
he played a gay man. And that was like his first role. And just imagine if he would have said, you know what, I'm not going to do this because I know I ain't gay and I don't want nobody to think I'm gay. Selfish.
He would have missed out on the whole career.
His whole life.
Yeah.
And he's living the best life right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
So
true indeed. Think about it. Speak to your wife about it. Speak to your father about it. Pray about it.
I'm going to do it, man. I talk
think
to
you should.
Jamal today, and I'm going to do it.
Good.
You know, for that reason. I will regret not doing it because it's not even when I went back and reread it, my mind blew it all the way out of proportion.
Yeah. That's what
You
we
know
tend
what
to
I'm
do
saying?
most of the time.
When you can read that and be like, all right, he said this, he said that. That ain't a reason not to take this perfect role. Are you crazy?
This could be, that step to get through that door to the next opportunity. You never know.
It surely can. And if nothing else, this is going to grow me up as a man.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to look at a homosexual and judge them because they may be broken. You know what I'm saying? They may be broken. So that was just it was something that I went through this week, really a few days ago, man. But it's real like that, man. I'm growing.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how you handle it and the outcome of it, so we can support you. So we can support the role that you play.
Word.
Definitely gonna be there.
The only thing I can think about to bring up to this is my daughter's 2, and we're going through potty training this weekend.
Baby Ava.
Labor Day weekend. You think they say it usually takes 3 to 5 days to teach your baby how to potty train. So we was like, okay, we got a 3-day weekend.
Hold on, 3 to 5 days to teach them?
That's what they say.
Put regular underwear.
Regular underwear, regular
Just
pants.
put drawers on them.
And
Let them go.
it's different for a girl too.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was about to say it took a little bit longer, 3 to 5, brother.
Put
Yeah.
drawers on them. They know the difference.
Oh, yeah.
So day 1, no patience. My whole patience is out the window. Like I know that I was getting frustrated.
Right.
I had to get tagged in. Like, yo, my wife came back. She was gone for the morning. She came back. I'm like, yo, I gotta go. I just gotta go get something to eat. I gotta go run an errand or something because I know my patience wasn't there.
Patience.
So we're still not there yet. I'm on day 4 and 3.5. Pray for me. That's all I'm saying.
Pray for
We're
me,
gonna
Lord.
still try to keep it going. I don't want to put the pressure on her that she got to do it right now, and I'm gonna be mad if she don't. But it's something that we're working on.
Patience is the word.
It is.
Patience is the word.
It is.
Everybody should pray for patience because that's I think understanding comes right after patience. I think if you're patient enough, you
can get through life.
Man, if you slow it down, look at the river,
Yep.
build the bridge,
Yep.
figure out how to get over there
Yep.
versus getting swept away.
Yep.
Most people just dive in thinking that, oh man, whatever. It's fear. It's nothing else.
Yep.
So with potty training the baby, put drawers on her and just know that she's gonna figure it out.
Yep.
And
You
that's
know
the
what I mean?
hard
Have
part.
patience.
That's the hard part because me, it was more so disciplinary a little bit when he was potty training with Braxton.
Yeah.
So for him, it was put on his, Thomas to train. He loves trains. Hey, pee on these. Thomas is going to be sad. Like, don't pee on Thomas. So he would, like, not even just pee, but he would poop. And that was one of them popping on the legs, like, you don't do this. And I regret
Don't
that.
even think about it like that.
I know, but I kind of feel bad because every time I pop him, it's like, dang, do I really need to pop him? But it helped. It worked. Dude was potty trained at 2.5 years old. You know what I mean? 3 years old. He was potty trained.
Figured it out quick.
Figured it out real quick.
Yeah, whoopings work.
Hey, they work.
Put that on the shirt. Whoopings work.
Right. That's one. Write it down. Whoopings work.
Whoopings work. I'm serious. We should write this stuff down for real.
Pootie tank belt come out of nowhere.
Man.
But yeah, man, that was just like, that was a tough phase where, hit him on his leg, pop him on his thigh, whatever it was. Like, I told you don't pee in the bed. I told you don't pee in these underwear. And,
Remember how we was talking with the kids being scared before they go to bed?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been the running theme for this show for me is like, be careful with your family. Be understanding, be patient, be careful. And so just like with how we were saying before the child goes to bed and they are scared that they're going to have a nightmare or monsters or something like that, and you would just go in and calm their mind, you would have to do that for yourself. So you trying to teach them, and that's the issue. But once they get it, you're not even going to think about it anymore.
Right.
It's really like, just have faith. Long story short, have faith that all of this is going to work out. Your child is going to grow up and be strong and teach their children. They're going to be frustrated because they're trying to potty train their children.
Right.
These is natural things that brothers go through.
But that's all it is. Patience, faith, understanding, discipline. That's really going to be the
love. In a loving fashion.
Yep.
Right.
I think that's what we're going to be talking about on almost every episode. Some point of that will be in every single part of the episodes that we have.
Even if you whooping your child, which works, do it in a loving fashion. Don't whoop them when you mad at them.
Right.
Whoop them later. Get them later so they understand, like, man, I messed up. Damn, dad is mad. We eating dinner. What they gonna do? That's gonna drive them crazy more. It's the disappointment, knowing that you got something coming. It's a psychological thing that they need to break. It ain't a physical. You don't need to beat your child and make them stand up straight.
Right.
You need to let them know how tall they are and how good they look when their head is raised.
And that's
it's just a different way of parenting.
I think that's the hard part too, is like, parents need to have that conversation with the kids. We go back to conversation. You got to talk to your kids. Listen, you did this in school. You about to get this next, and you're gonna be on punishment, whatever discipline that you use. But they need to know why. Like, for me, whooping Braxton at 4 years old, it's not gonna really solve anything. He don't really know unless it's something immediate that he did.
And that's what I think goes along with this topic, being a leader in the family, being the head of the household, and knowing how to communicate, like being a quarterback of your family, being the coach of your family, being whatever, being that to be able to get you all to the goal. And I think that goes along with what we're going to talk about today, which is being the head of the household, knowing your role or knowing your roles. So we'll talk about that today. When I first started the show, we said, are you the head of the household? Norm, do you think that you are the head of your household?
I know I'm the head of the household, but I have not been executing the way I should be. Like, I know I'm the head because as a father and a husband, you're automatically given that title.
Correct.
But if you're not doing your role properly, you can't really accept that or say, hey, I am the head.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I've still got a lot of work to do. I haven't been praying with my wife as much as I should be. I pray over my son. But you got to do that same thing with your wife. You know what I mean? If you expect to lead your family, to church, I got to be the one to wake them up and get the day started. Hey, we're getting ready, we're going to church. If I'm not doing that, if I'm not praying with my wife, if I'm not taking them to church or whatever the case may be, some type of worship, I feel like I'm not doing my role properly. Okay. No matter what I'm doing financially, no matter what type of love I'm giving them, if I'm not leading them to Christ, I'm not playing my role properly. I'm not doing that right. So,
Jay, what about you?
What's the question?
Are you the head of the household?
Am I the head of the household? My household, yes. I think because that's the way that the family structure is set up, but that doesn't mean that my wife is less than. I think that's just so that there's structure established. I make the decisions. I have final say. I am the voice, I am the head, and my wife is like the neck. You know what I mean? That turns the head.
That's where I was going to get to.
You know what I'm saying?
Walked right into it.
It's not that I lead and she follows. She helps me lead, right? She tells me what to say and I say it.
Right.
You know? And so I'm the figure of the house. Somebody comes to the door, I answer the door. You know what I mean?
Safety and security as well.
Exactly.
Like
I like to believe that we're like a two-headed person.
That's how it should be,
running
though.
the house.
And there's going to be two sides to that. Some people would be like, if you're two-headed, then you're in two different directions. There's some people that think that if you are just the only leader, then you're not listening. So there's two different ways that you can see it.
Negative connotation comes with the word leader.
Yes.
That's or even with head of the household. If you say that to a woman, head of the household,
What does
woman
that mean?
roll her eyes.
Yeah.
What's that
You the
mean?
head, but I'm the one that, and she'll tell you.
I'm
all
the neck that rolls.
Yeah. She'll tell you
do
all of her.
everything.
She'll start listing all
Everything
her
she does.
credentials in the
Yeah.
household.
Yeah.
And so when I say head of the household, I mean like figurehead. Like I am the representative, Mr. and Mrs. Jeremiah Williams. This is my family. These are my children. This is my wife. This is my house. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if your foundation is set up correctly, everybody knows that in the house. Everybody knows that the father is the head of the house, and like Christ is the head of the church, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I don't want to make it too religious, but I feel like that hierarchy goes like that because I'm in charge of the house, but I serve someone else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How is that communicated? Like, how do we even communicate that we are the head of the household? Is that through our actions? Is there a communicate? Like, is there a conversation? Like, hey, I'm doing this.
It's definitely not kicking the door down and grabbing your wife up and telling her, I'm the one that pay the bills and I'm the one that make the money. It ain't that.
I'm the daddy.
Yeah.
You the mama.
I want the big piece of chicken.
It ain't that. And that's the head of the household that most women roll their eyes about, roll their neck about. It's about like being the teacher in the house, being the minister in the house. Like you said, I need to pray for my wife. You know that. Ain't nobody need to tell you that.
Right.
You know that I'll make it for me. I know that I need to wake up first thing in the morning before everybody's up, get the house ready, pray over the house, be in the house first, up first, make breakfast, and then bless the breakfast, and then send everybody up.
See,
I know that, and that's hard work.
And for you, Jay, like you said, make breakfast. That's one of them gender roles that used to be the woman's going to cook and the woman's going to do this. Like, I love cooking. I told y'all that
Yeah.
before.
I do
love
too.
cooking.
What's a man's
I do
role in
too.
the house?
Right.
You feed your family, right?
Yeah.
You provide and you feed them. Why can't you be the one that start breakfast? Why can't you be that one that cooks or clean or whatever? Like the gender roles, that's, like we said, stuff is dead. That's dead. Everybody has to be the one to help out.
And think about it. If you got up and did that, you would be the perfect father.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife would make love to you in the morning before you went to work. Your children would brag about you in the daytime. My dad made us pancakes and eggs.
What y'all had today?
Yeah.
We just had cereal.
Pop-Tart. My dad got up and made some hot. We had steak the other day. He made some steak burritos. And we got down. And I want to be that father.
That's
And
a
so
crazy
for
crazy
real.
perspective to say. Like, you want to be bragged about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even just by your wife, like your kids. That's dope.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Mr. O'Neal, like, and then you know
Make
that.
some waffles.
Right, yeah.
He said,
Can we come by? Yeah, can I come by before we get on the bus? That's how my dad was. Well, my mom. We had probably one of the illest backcourts in Cleveland Heights, man. I had a cold backcourt. My dad got it repaved. Everybody who was a hooper through Cleveland Heights, South Euclid, and came through, hooped up, practice was in my backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Man, my mom used to make sandwiches. She used to do lemonade. I mean, just like little stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my dad had the Astro van, man, so he was taking everybody to practice. Like, Mr. Strickland, can we ride with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, little stuff like that.
That's dope.
You have to be aware of, but at the same time, you just got to be a great figure for your kids. Like, not even looking for a pat on the back. It's just this is what you have to do.
Because
that's the head.
And the thing about being the head of the household, you have to be selfless. You have to not want to look for the thanks,
Yeah.
even though it seems kind of harsh. But that's something I had to get over too. It's like, damn, I do all this. And
I'm the same way. I'm still working on that.
I don't hear, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no kiss,
can I get a what's up? Like, thanks? Or can I get a tweet, a post, something? Can you post a picture? Something like right. Like, and that's
my wife did send me a edible arrangement.
That's dope. That's dope because, that's the part of the transition from being just a man to being a husband. Because I've been single as in not married longer than I've been a married guy. Mm-hmm. So I'm still with the mind frame of I do this, you do this.
Right.
With the marriage, you really got to do it without worrying about what you're going to automatically get at that moment. Because you're planting seeds to be harvested seasons from now.
You're doing a bigger job.
And that's something that if we ask our single friends, single lady friends, like Brandy was here last week. I had Brandy ask this question: should the man be the head of the household? I asked her because I knew most of the people that would be her listeners would be single. So their perspective is like, is he paying the bills?
Right.
What is he bringing to the table?
Shout out to Take Control podcast.
So it's like, that's a whole different perspective, because if you ask...
But what she's asking is he providing for me?
Yes.
Is he protecting me? Is he teaching? Is he doing? What makes you the head of the household?
Exactly.
Because for a woman, she's the one that's doing all of the head of the household duties.
Because she was left to do that.
She's protecting the house. She's caring for, if she has a child, she's caring for her children. And she making breakfast.
Right.
And she looking out for when she hear noise outside. She got she may have a pistol in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's protected.
Right.
So what is a man? I feel like a man will have to know his roles before he could call himself.
Yeah,
just like
definitely.
fathers and dads and anybody can make a child. I think Tupac said it too. Yeah. I love quoting Tupac, man. Anybody can make a child, but it takes a man to be a father.
Right.
That's so real. Anybody can be the man in the house, man of the house. I was a man in the house when I was 13, 14, 15, 16. I was, I grew up the man of the house, but I wasn't the head of the household.
Right.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah, you can be the man of the house, but you might not be the leader or the head of the household. And I think that if we think of my definition of leader as somebody who kind of has a foresight that will plan things out, and say a manager, somebody who's on the day-to-day things that is handling the things that are happening right now, or managing what are you a leader or are you a manager? Or do you have the foresight to know that, we can't do this, or we need to learn this because if something happens this day, we might need this rainy day fund to be taken care of? That's what a leader does. A leader takes care of them, provides, and figures out a way that we all can flourish.
Yeah,
we can all win.
We got to be selfless enough to take a step back and help as well. Like, our wives are supposed to be our helpers. They're from our ribs for a reason. But if you could be man enough to, provide financially, you should also be man enough to, do the laundry, to serve. You know what I mean? To serve, to help your wife. She can't be the only one that's raising kids.
I think a true leader serves the people.
Right.
Like, my vision for our household is to serve you better, is to make sure that you are taken care of, so that if I'm gone, I leave the provision that you're taken care of. You'll have the service that you need. And that is the difference between a manager who's just, how much we got today? Like, let's go ball out. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we need to set some aside. Like, that's where that's why I feel that, are we going to try to get a house? Let's try to figure out what we need to get our credit together. Right. Like, what we got to do for this down payment. Like, maybe I need to learn a couple trades so that when I get a house, I won't have to call somebody every other weekend to fix something. Because that's what a leader does. And a manager will find somebody to outsource it. Neither one is bad, but there can be better things with each one.
The head of the household is doing both.
Yes.
See how you said I need to pray for my wife more? Yeah. Ain't nobody need to tell you that. See how I'm saying I need to get up every morning and make breakfast? Ain't nobody tell me that. I know, and then I need to figure out how to get it done for all of the reasons that we listed.
Right.
That's kind of what it is.
That's why I just want to make sure that we at least figure it out, like, where the base of being the leader or the head of the household is. Now, gender roles, we touched on that a little bit. What are your thoughts on gender roles before and today? Like, our parents' gender roles, our grandparents' gender roles, and today's gender roles, because we know they're totally different.
Man, for me, growing up in a household where my dad cooked, my dad, did laundry as well, it was never anything that said my mom can only do this. You know what I mean? When we came to fall and leaves needed rake, everybody was raking leaves. I mean, me and my brother probably was the only one shoveling snow. But I feel like the road should
y'all got to.
Yeah, we ain't got no choice. You better get there shoveling
Delegate.
snow.
I'm delegating.
Hey, man. So my dad don't play that, man. We had to shovel snow.
Think I just come home from work? I'm about to shovel up the snow?
You want to talk about a true leader? My father, hey, get out there, shovel that snow, cut the grass. And I got to the point where I'm one of them kids, I was completely different from my brother. Like, I didn't like people telling me what to do, so I would do it anyway. So, like, when the grass needed cut, I would just cut it. When my dad come home, grass already bagged
Ain't
up.
that the best?
That's
when
the best.
You do a good job without somebody telling you.
That's I forgot what the definition of that is, but I mean, just doing stuff without being told.
I think that's pride.
Yeah, initiative.
I think it's pride though, but in a good way. It's good pride. Like, man, let me hurry up and do my homework so I can turn it in.
Yep.
First thing in the morning.
Right.
You proud that you. Yep. I don't think pride is a bad thing at times.
Not at all.
Pride and ego, it just depends on how you use it. Wherever you put that power in, or what the end goal is, that shows if it's good or bad.
I think the pride was the reason why you was like, you know what, I'm cutting the grass. Yep. That way, when my dad get home, he see what's going on.
Cut it, edge it, all of it.
You know,
and even like Saturdays was our day we cleaned up. You know, I don't know where y'all from, but Cleveland household Saturdays turn the music on. We clean it. Yeah, we clean it up.
Weekend.
Yeah, but us we did Saturdays, so I was the kid that let me do mine on Friday. That way Saturday I can chill. Everybody else doing theirs. Yeah, I'm chilling. Get to the mall, 12 o'clock at the latest. You ain't done with your chores, you getting left.
Yeah.
But gender roles for me, I feel like everybody should help out one another. It shouldn't be all right, you the man, so you cut grass only and you take out the trash only. You know what I mean? Not that I don't want my son to know one side. Like, he takes out the trash right now. He's 4. Take these bags out the bathroom.
My 2-year-old daughter helps me take out the trash.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to help out. Everybody needs to know both roles or just roles in general. Like my son, he helped me make pancakes yesterday. You know what I mean? Hey, this is what you do. You want to learn how to. You want to eat them. How you learn how to make them. So I think roles should just be equal.
Now you learn how to fold the dish.
Wash the dish. Right. He'll be washing his clothes by 10. Shoot, you gotta know this stuff, man. Survival tactics, man. Yep. Survival tactics.
What are your thoughts on gender roles?
For me, gender roles was different, man, because it was me and my mother growing up, you know. So my mom did everything. So she cut the grass and washed the clothes and cooked the food and barbecued, and she did it all. Fixed the car. I done seen my mom under the hood. My mom get it going.
Hit you with a taper on the Saturday too.
For real. Hit me with a high top fade. A whole box. A taper. A whole box.
Mama J.
My mom cut my hair. She was everything. My mom taught me how to play sports, how to cook. She taught me how to do everything. And so once I moved with my father, then I seen everything that he did was everything that my mother did. But it was from his perspective. This is how a man plays basketball, cuts hair, cuts the grass. This is how a man cooks. This is how I barbecue. And so I feel like I got both sides of the game. But it's the same roles. I feel like a head of the household has those roles. So it's not a man or a woman thing. It's who does this job. A woman can be the head of the household. A man can be a head of the household. I don't think that that's a gender-specific job.
Right.
What about the roles that back in the day they had? How did they become to be kind of outdated or stale?
I think that time dictated in the reasoning for the work. I think that dictated who did the work. So sewing, knitting kind of went with caring for the children, being in the house, cooking, all of that. The man's job kind of leaned towards yard work, farming, working in the ground, fixing things
with their hands,
handiwork, right? Strong handiwork,
right?
Even protecting handiwork. And if you was to go further back in time, the men would go out and hunt, and the women would stay home and make pots and whatever women do.
Right, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
So loincloth and whatever we needed back in the day. And they would gather and we'll go get berries and the kids and all of that, and we'll all go out together and do those things. But the women did certain jobs and the other men did other jobs. And I feel like it just evolves over time. To present day, which is the future, I think nowadays the lines are blurred. Mm-hmm. Now a woman can go out and get her own and sustain her whole her own household. Back in the days, it wasn't like that. A woman needed not just a man to protect her, but a community around. It needed to be family members around. You couldn't just raise a child by yourself. You would need your mother and her mother and your aunt and your sisters. You would need the whole village around you. Nowadays, you can kind of get by yourself. You don't even need a family nowadays.
Do you think that women have stepped up their roles due to necessity or due to opportunity? Do you think that there's more opportunity for them to do more, or is it because they need to because we ain't doing it?
I think it's both, honestly. Because think about, what was it, World War II, when the women had to go out and actually start working.
Yeah,
that's when they got
bullets.
They had to make bullets. Yeah, they got a taste of empowerment. You know what I mean? They had to work and still come home and do all these things. So I think
that's because in that time they wasn't letting women work. At that time, the men would go and the women would stay home. Right. Everybody was a stay-at-home mom. Now it's different. Now women
can go get it,
can go work, and the man can stay at home.
It's like that over in I want to say China, or I don't want to misquote it, but over there overseas somewhere, I want to say China. There's a lot of women that work and a lot of men that stay home. I'm gonna look it up and find the answer, but it's something like that to where a lot of the women work and the men stay home. And as a stay-at-home dad, you shouldn't feel like emasculated about something like that. You know what I mean? Like
that was the question of the day a while ago. Could you be a stay-at-home dad if you had a woman that was making like stupid money? Like she was making hundreds of thousands and she could just afford to just go to work and all you had to do was stay at home, keep the house, care for the children. Could you do that as a man?
Hey, what do you say on Hollow Night? Hell yeah.
But listen, Norm, this is my answer.
I think there's a caveat to that. I want to hear what your answer is.
This was my answer. And I feel like I got the best answers because I'm fair.
Yeah.
It's not about me. It's about the best thing for my family. So if I needed to hold the house down, my baby went and brought the bacon in, no problem. I'm not that proud.
Right.
But I am still going to have to work.
Yeah.
So the work that I do for my house would be my work. So I'm going to learn a trade. Mm-hmm. I'm fixing stuff. Ain't no handyman. Ain't no cable man.
Right.
I'm the man. Ain't no pool service. I'm doing. Man, I done built a gazebo. I'm building sheds. We got acres. We got land.
And we taught the kids a timetable.
You know what I'm saying? The kids know how to set the table.
Yeah.
They cooking. We doing it all at the house. So I'm going to work because my job is to work.
Right.
But making money, I feel like God didn't tell me to go make money. He told me to work and provide for your family.
Right.
And so I would never not do that. Even if I was a homeless man, I'm providing for my family.
You got to find a way.
We eating pizza out the garbage, but man, I'm going to pick the pepperonis off for the baby.
You have to find a way as a man, as a father.
My thought to that is how the woman would react in that situation. Hopefully you have a mature enough woman who wouldn't be like, well, I'm making all this money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like emasculating the man. Like that's the caveat. Is like, how is she in this situation? Is she really like throwing me under the bus? Like I'm just nobody now? Like that would be the thing that's like, yo, I don't know, bro.
She come up behind, grab you on the ass,
smack your ass one time. What's up, baby?
What you got
right? Like, let me feel like a man a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
What is masculine? Is sitting at home? Well, not sitting at home, but is being at home, having dinner ready? Is that not masculine?
I think that whatever works for your family is whatever definition it is, because that could turn your wife on. It's the fact that you are able to
got the grill going,
have it together, because that takes away stress. A peaceful living situation will make everything so much better.
Ain't that the point?
Yes.
A peaceful household?
Yes.
You bring home the bacon, I got it all.
Yeah.
Whether it was I go part-time, you go part-time, but long as the house is running fine, I think that's the point.
Yep.
And I'll tell y'all a true story, man. Something I haven't really told a lot of people that kind of ties into this. I lost my job a couple months ago. So something that I wasn't expecting. Something that came up out of the blue. I was at the top of my game, working at Huntington, and doing very well. Some situation happened to where, I lost my job. And I'm not going to speak too much on it, but I had a couple months to either get down on myself, you know what I mean, cry about it, or take the opportunity to educate myself, to build myself up mentally, spiritually, and to do what we're talking about right now, to provide. So having two incomes go down to one, unemployment, it takes forever to get that, and there's barely anything you get from that. But for me, it was time for me to, all right, let me go do something that I know how to do. Go find and make some money. I know how to paint very well. I painted my house inside. I'm still doing that. I found the guy who's doing subcontract work, working with him at Ohio State, painting a couple buildings, a few weeks at a time. Something like that where you got to go out and get it. I came home days I didn't work. I cooked, I cleaned. Like I said, I painted. I'm on YouTube learning how to fix stuff. Yeah. I'm doing whatever I can around the house to provide.
Yeah, you kept working.
You have to work no matter what happens. So I feel like, my wife did come home, a couple times, smack me on the butt like, hey, boo, what you cooking? You know what I mean? And it smelled good. But, hey, I did what I had to do to make sure my household was taken care of, whether it be financially or, physically, just doing stuff around the house or finding side jobs to work. Getting back on my feet, starting that chase next week. I'm excited, happy. Pop some champagne this weekend, but, things happen for a reason. So,
That example will make your family stronger. Knowing how much she allowed you to figure it out will make you know that if it happens on her side, that you have an example. She led at that moment. And you led at that moment. You both led on how to take care of this, because this isn't a situation that can only happen once in your lifetime. Right. This could happen again. Yeah. So let's make sure we figure out how to take care of this, whether it's me or you, or we see somebody in need. You will be able to let somebody know, like, hey, I've been there, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, here's what you can do. Don't get down on yourself.
Keep working.
Let's just keep doing it. Whatever, we gonna find you.
And one thing too, the reason why we got our house with one income for this exact reason, just in case. Like, people out here buying houses off of two incomes and can't afford it.
Yeah.
Do it off of one income. If something happens, you can still pay for it. I haven't had to worry about none of my bills not being paid. Everything's been paid. Everything been on time.
That's a blessing.
So, you got to get out here and get it, no matter what the situation is. As a man, as a father, and as a leader of the household, you got to find a way to get it, no matter what. No excuses. A book by Tony Evans, by the way, I was reading to help me mentally. No excuses. Right. Tony Evans. Shout out to Tony Evans.
What book is that? That's what.
No Excuses.
Okay.
Yep.
I've been reading Seven Habits of Effective People.
Oh yes.
So they speak about independence, dependency, and interdependence. Yeah. And you have to figure out how to be dependent as a child. You're dependent on getting information. So we're fathers. Our kids are dependent on us. They're getting information from us. They're downloading everything that we're giving to them. When they become teenagers and 20s or whatever, we have to allow ourselves also to be independent. Mm-hmm. Where we at in our stage in our lives now, we have to learn how to be interdependent, where we have learned independence, but we also have learned how to work with our wives to get to the common goal. And I think that is true leadership.
Yes, it is.
It's effective. Mm-hmm. And I think that we have to let that ego set aside, have a plan, communicate, which is the key word about all of this. Communicate, love, and get to that next level, because patience will allow us to get to where we need to be. And I think that that's what we need to learn when saying we're the head of the household, when we're the leaders. Think of these things. We're being led by God who is nothing but love. We're being led by God who sacrificed for us, who has made provision for us. If we're following His leadership, that's how we'll know how to do it.
It's about love, man. It's about love.
I need to hear people's feedback. We're not going to keep y'all too long because we got the interview right after this, and we have the question of the day. But we just wanted to make sure we touched on this because these are our communication starters. These are conversation starters. And we may not have our full points said on this, but holla at us so we can give you the feedback to add on to this. Yeah, but that's the main thing. I just wanted to make sure that we brought this up as black men. Let's speak about it. Let's see what we have in mind.
What was Martin's show before he got on? When he got off the radio?
Why don't I know this?
Why did I know this? This is Martin trivia.
What was Speak
Out?
Speak Out.
That's what he was doing. He was doing the
Come on, brother, speak
the
out.
recording. Yeah, speak out.
Y'all got anything else y'all want to add to the leadership head of the household topic?
Nah, man, if I could just say,
I'm not trying to rush y'all. I'm just trying to make sure I respect y'all time.
No, we
but
gotta
also,
get home and see Bobby Brown.
Yeah,
Bobby Brown,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
New Bobby Brown.
9 o'clock.
Hey, baby, record that for me.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're listening.
But no, if I could just give a last word,
Yeah.
if anything that I'm gonna take from this is that the things that you know that you're supposed to do, get those done. I need to wake up, and I challenge brothers to do the same thing. Wake up first in your household before everybody else does. Get up early, man. The earlier the better. And just get your house peaceful, and then make breakfast for your family. You don't have to do it every day, but even if you just did it on Sunday or Saturday or whatever day that you have, Monday, Tuesday, right? Just get up and make breakfast for your family, and then before y'all eat, just bless the food and bless your household, bless your family. Take control and be the leader, be the head of the household, right? Just do that for yourself and for your family.
Word.
I say for me, just show love, like we say, like Jay said, just do it. It's almost that Nike slogan that's going on right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Nike and the love they're showing our black leaders.
Yes.
Colin Kaepernick right now, if you guys haven't seen, which you should have, 30th anniversary. He's the face of the campaign. And the whole just do it. It has a different perspective now. Get up and do it. Like I said, I need to do stuff. Instead of saying I need to, I am doing it. You know what I mean? Just get up and do it. Get it done as a man. Stop making excuses. You know what I mean? Show your kids how things should be done. Don't make excuses. Make it happen.
Show your bride.
Show your bride. So it's all love over this way.
And that goes along with my last thing would be say, whatever you do, do it in love. Do it without wanting to get something back out of it. Do it with pure love. Anything, family, yourself, do whatever you got to do with love. And speaking of love, I want to give us a couple shout outs and then we'll give our shout outs to be out. Shout out to the Green Room Podcast. They shouted us out in their last episode.
Hey.
Shout out to the Take Control Podcast. Shout out to the whole city of Columbus giving us good feedback. Shout out to Norm's friends for giving us a good feedback on what we need to do to get better. Shout out to the people here, the different strokes.
What up, dog?
Yeah, but whatever.
Shout out to Ted Williams, man.
Yeah.
Ted Williams.
Shout out to Ted Williams for coming through and blessing us with his words, man. Shout out to my good friend Rob Phillips. Shout out to every barber in here. Shout out to my man Norman Ashbury Strickland. That's my man,
the
50 grand, the third, part 3.
Yeah.
Shout out to DJ Durham.
Hey, how do I have a sweet nickname, man? I should have been like Trey.
Think about it. Think about it.
I
Oh,
should've
yeah.
been Trey or something. Nah, I ain't get none of that. Lil Norm, they call me.
Little
Norm, still.
Oh, man, that's you.
All right, man. We out of here. Till next time.
Peace.
Peace. Damn,
Welcome to Fatherhood Fraternity Podcast. We have a very special guest in the building. We're here in the barber shop, Different Strokes Barber Shop, Gahanna, Ohio. I'm DJ Durrell, aka your favorite. I have with me,
You have Norm Strick here, homie.
and we also got,
At I_Rockwell. My name is Jeremiah.
and we also have the man with the golden voice in the barbershop with us, Ted Williams. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. To
Yeah.
all of you, man.
Thank
Thank you so much. And I love it here, Different Strokes Barbershop.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
As we talk about in our Fatherhood podcast, we just speak about stuff fathers go through, us being men, and just talking things out. We don't feel that there's a perfect way to be a father. I'm new. I only have a 2-year-old daughter.
Bless your
So
heart.
I'm just trying to learn. I want to be able to have people around me who have experienced this, and so I can learn some things. So we know you came by, and
Yeah.
we wanted to speak to you.
Well, I have 9 children. I have 7 girls and 2 boys, And early on in their lives, I had a lot of input,
Okay.
Of course, unfortunately, I went on to other things, but my kids were truly monumental to me,
Right.
I'm an only child. And so my father had certain ways of my upbringing,
Uh-huh.
My father would always tell me, Ted, show me $1. That was it's in my book as well.
Okay.
My father didn't want to be bothered with anyone that could at least not show him $1 bill. So when my friends came over to my house to play, if none of my friends could show my father $1, he would make me feel like, why would you want to hang with someone that couldn't even show you $1? Those are some of the things that he instilled in me. Of
Right.
course, my friends would always hustle with that because being an only child, you know, I had all the Hot Wheels, the G.I. Joes, and all of that. So let's go to Teddy's house. you
Right,
know?
right.
So they made sure they had $1. It wasn't admission. It was just the fact to show my father. And they all ended up growing up very successful, you know. I had some bumps in the road, but and with my children, I didn't instill that in them. But what I did instill in them was to appreciate everything you've got. You know, hold on to it. You know, don't let it go. Don't more or less get over abundant with greed or anything of that nature. But just take care of the things that you have, and they'll last longer.
Right.
So my girls ended up doing that, and they instilled those things over to my grandchildren. You know. So fatherhood is truly a special. It's a gift.
Yeah.
It's truly a gift. Yeah.
It is. And being able to see men of color speaking about fatherhood and,
Yes,
and just
absolutely.
learning about it, I think it's one of the things that are very important
Yeah.
in all walks of land, and especially in our communities, in the barber shop,
Yes,
and just
yes,
meeting
yes.
people, just being able to be men and have that time to talk and not have anything where we feel that we're judging each other. We just want to make sure that we are speaking, getting along, conversing, and
I was just talking to somebody yesterday, ironically, and their name of I don't know if it's a frat or whatever, but like you said, Fatherhood Fraternity. These guys are called Seven Dads. Are y'all familiar with that?
not familiar.
not familiar.
They're local. They're here in Columbus.
Well, yeah, they were up here
Okay.
at a bar, at a gas station.
Okay.
And they was a group of white guys, and they have a little thing too with the fathers, and they call it the Seven Dads.
Okay.
Shout out to the 7 dads.
Yeah, shout out to
Keep it
the
going,
Seven
man.
Dads.
We have to
Yeah,
meet up with them.
That's right. Fatherhood is truly important.
Yeah.
You know.
If you were to give somebody advice as far as fatherhood, whether it's a person who's about to be a father or a new father, what would you say?
I would have to say implement prayer along the way. Every time you think of your son or your daughter or your whole family, just throw some prayer in there. Lord, thank you so much for what you have given me, man, and please help them get encouragement and, you know, always stick by them and truly help them see their dreams. My father thought radio announcing, or back then it was DJ, he thought that was a waste of time, you know? I thought he was always jealous of my boy. You know?
I had the voice. You always had the voice.
At 14,
That's crazy.
I would come up to my dad with a broomstick and I'd say, "Hey, Dad, what do you think about?" You know, I'd ask him, and he'd say, "Get out of here, man." Get out of here,
I can hear
man."
Ted right now at 14. Hey, girl, how you doing? This is
I
Ted.
did.
Are you all right to go out tonight?
We had Barry White. We had Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
You know, those
I asked you earlier, could you sing, man? You sound like you have the voice to where even if you try, I'm sure you can
bless
tear
you.
any note up.
I'm a mean shower singer. You know, a boss, happy birthday.
I bet.
But,
I bet.
I tried to do, I think I told you there, I tried to do The Temptations' Ain't Too Proud to Beg. And this guy over at, well, I don't want to mention the bar, but he said, if you sing on karaoke tonight, I'll give you a $100 donation. So I went up and said, I know you won't. Then I got to a certain point. That was it. I was through. I got my $100.
I bet you
Take
did.
it right.
Yeah. David Ruffin, I love him.
Yeah.
David was the man.
Y'all got any questions for Mr. Williams?
No, I pretty much just want to say that it's a blessing to have so many children and grandchildren.
Yes.
I feel like your legacy is what's the most important, and your story is inspirational, man. Inspirational.
Thank you.
And it's so it's really like a pleasure to meet you. You're a celebrity to me. You know what I mean?
To me too.
Like a real
To me too. I'm excited.
When they said you was in here, I said we gotta
I'm like,
call
we
him.
gotta talk to
Yeah, we
Ted.
gotta talk to Ted.
So to everybody, it's like a moment. But to see you walking around and you have your wife here with you, it's a blessing, man.
It is a blessing.
It's-
It really
it's a
is.
blessing.
It's all God-given. And I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
All of our children have gifts. Now,
Right.
all of our children, no matter what ages, they have a gift. One of the least touted gifts that our children possess is the gift of communication.
Wow.
So let's encourage our kids to be able to speak properly.
Yes.
To be very confident of their names. You know, I go around and I ask kids their names just to hear how confident they are or how they pronounce their names. You know, Gerald. I heard a kid say, "My name's Jim." And I said, "What is it, baby?"
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
I said, "Say Gerald." Gerald. And when he said it a couple times, to this day, his mother seen me at the Ohio State Fair. She said, "Hi, do you remember me?" And I was like, "No, ma'am, can you please refresh my..." And she said, "My son's name is Gerald." And I said, Yes, Gerald. She said he loves his name.
Yeah.
He's confident, and he enunciates it, articulates
You
it, or
taught him
whatever.
how to say his
How
name.
his name. And now Gerald.
Right.
She said he pronounces the
Gerald.
Gerald.
Yep.
She said he pronounces every syllable in that.
That's
name.
great.
That's great.
So that's it.
Building
So
that
we
confidence.
have kids who have the gift of communication. Let's encourage them to be proud of what their parents named them. And
Yeah.
so when someone says, "What is your name?" My name is Deborah. My name is David.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when people would say I always Ted, and if you like, please give me Theodore. Or
Right, yeah.
Ted just is too fast.
Shoot. Imagine being Norman the Third. I hated my name.
Oh,
Norman.
sure.
I got an old white man name.
Shout out to Norman.
But
too.
yeah, but you learn to
Middle
be
name,
proud of
Norman.
it.
Ashbury.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm the third.
Norman Ashbury.
It's the Norman
Ashbury.
Ashbury show.
Hey, hated my name, man. But yeah,
But
after
Norman-
time,
After time,
Yeah,
that's
you
right.
respect
Norman
it.
is a very
Become that.
You become
distinguished
that,
name.
yep.
You know what I mean?
yeah, you
Very
see it on
distinct.
paper. You
Norman,
no second
baby.
guessing. Yeah, let's
Norman
bring this guy in for an
Rockwell.
interview.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's so many famous Normans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I
no,
love
no.
you guys,
Thank
and
you.
I truly think this is a fantastic barbershop.
Thank you very much for
Different
stepping by.
strokes,
This is great.
Fatherhood, fraternity.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
tell us
I'm-
about your book too.
I do have a book. It's called A Golden Voice: How Faith, Hard Work, and Humility Brought Me from the Streets to Salvation.
Perfect.
Now,
Amen,
standing
amen.
on a highway corner isn't the most favorable thought of person in the world, outside of society's standards of being quote unquote normal. But to embarrass your family. See, now we're going back to fatherhood.
Right.
Here I was watching my children come up with tears in their eyes, knowing that I had been very successful. Now, I know you have a great deal of listenership or audience. I know y'all remember WVKO.
Yeah, there you
The
go.
rhythm of the city, 16 WVKO. Well, I was very successful at VKO, and so were a lot of other announcers. But I want to say, man, that I had a great ride. But the difference of then and now is that I never thanked God for any of that. I never thanked Him for the voice. It took me to a highway corner, a journey of addiction, degrading my parents after all. No father or no mother wants to die knowing that after they've raised their child, they've fed, educated, and all those things for their kids, bought them a car and all that, and they end up on a highway corner, an ex-crackhead who, a felon, a convicted felon and all that. But you know what? My mother and father were praying for me.
Right.
And whether I thought that they had detached themselves from me, they were praying. So I want to say that a father and a mother's prayer goes a long way in a child's life.
Amen.
Amen.
So kids, if you're listening to this, I want you to know that when daddy and mommy might feel like they're a little perturbed with your actions or your choices that you make, know one thing: they're praying for you.
Amen.
And prayer truly is number one in my book.
Amen.
The faith of a
Amen.
mustard seed does move mountains.
Yes, sir.
And there is power in prayer.
Yeah.
There is.
But he said, acknowledge me in all your ways.
All your ways, yeah.
He didn't say when you go over here, don't talk about me.
Right.
Because the devil is waiting to get in where he fits in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to discredit everything we do,
Yeah.
acknowledging God.
Especially marriage too.
It's the Different Strokes Barbershop with
Fatherhood.
Fatherhood Fraternity.
Thank you,
Hey,
sir.
I love you guys.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
sir.
having me,
Nice
man.
meeting you.
I
Thank
wish
you,
I
sir.
could have stayed longer.
This
You're
is
good.
yeah, we
This is
appreciate
perfect.
you.
This is
I'm
perfect,
going
sir.
back.
Appreciate you.
God bless you.
God bless
Do
you
I turn
too.
this off here?
Yeah, thank you.
Bam. There we
Thank
go.
you, Ted.
Love you guys.
That was
great,
great, man.
man.
Appreciate it.
All